Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hey, it is a Tuesday. It's a bit of a challenging day for us here in the States, but hopefully by the end of this program, we have given you a little something to either take your mind off it or maybe encourage you, give you some positivity, and let's go ahead and just kind of like get a bit to the nitty gritty of it all. And that was there was another school shooting today in the United States in Texas. And as of right now, 18 souls lost their lives, many of them being children in an elementary school. This seems to be, well, not seems to be, this is a part of the norm of American culture, school shooting, mass shootings. But it always seems a little more challenging when it's innocence, especially in the form of children. We've seen this happen with Sandy Hook, and now we are met with it again. So I just I'm taking a bit of I'm taking the reins and kind of just wanted to address it before we even do our intros and all of the other stuff, because I feel that we can't have a really good, catchy eye-popping show until we address this elephant in the room. I'm going to go ahead and pause for a moment, Chuck, and just give you the stage regarding what's been going on in the States so far.
I mean, it's angering. It's nothing's going to change. I watched politicians for the last 5 years plan against the rights of women, but won't plan against the right of protecting our children. And they'll think of every reason on why not to protect the children for the sake of the gun license in this country, which is part of the contract we all signed up for when we come into this country, that guns reign supreme. The government's been known to issue guns out to people since the beginning of this country. People care to forget that in the beginning of this country, to kill off all the buffalo, the United States military and the government handed out rifles to white men to kill the buffalo to starve out native people on this land. So that is part of our history. And I think they're looking at these children like livestock or buffalo. And there's just part of the contract. I mean, there's not much we can do about it. I'm watching conservatives in particular who have fought hard against women's rights to choose, fight for the right to carry guns, and for the people that are the victims of gun violence, there's only thoughts and prayers for some of them. Not all of them, some of them.
Right. The thoughts and prayers thing is a really big one for me, because it's a crutch now to not address what needs to be addressed. And I'm not going to sit here and give thoughts and prayers. What I am going to do is offer a challenge to everyone. And I am a proponent that people will take action, and it's up to us to determine what that action is. But we want to take positive action before it turns into negative action. I do feel that you could push people, but so far before they do something. So I want to use this platform to say and exercise to people what you can do now on the positive side before it turns ugly. And everybody here has the power of the vote. And if you feel helpless, it is probably the best way to get your point across. And this is regarding not just school shootings, and this is anything that deals with you directly, whether it's the right to do with your body as you please, or the right for your children to go to school without fear of being gunned down. Use that right to either remove people who are against your values and install people that are willing to fight for you. Because if not, nothing will change unless those people are out. And right now, that is the best nonviolent approach that I can recommend. Don't thought and prayer about it. I don't want to hear nothing about no thoughts and prayers. You have to take some action and go to the booth. That is the best way, because the other option is not so pleasant. Yeah. James Baldwin called it the fire next time. We don't want it to get to the fire next time regarding any issue, be it women's health, be it civil rights, be it gun violence. So let's use this energy and put it in the booth. Put it in the booth first.
Find some good people to run for the positions to get us into the booth too. We can search for those people and support those people too.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us have to work, so we can't just go sit on our local congressman,
right?
Our local council members, our local government, because that's where it all starts, as a local government.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And we can't sit in those meetings, so those meetings are always at inopportune times for people to attend. They're like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and most people at 3:00 in the afternoon that I know of, they're working, or they're picking their kids up from schools if they're fortunate to pick their kids up. You got to think, there are parents of 18 children that unfortunately pick their kids up in a body bag today.
Yes.
They'll never hear those kids cry again, scream again, ask for their favorite food, ask for chicken nuggets. They'll never, ever be able to hear those kids again.
Yeah.
And we have leadership to say, well, that's part of the social contract of being here. It's part of your freedoms. That's the cost of freedom. That is not the cost of freedom.
Yeah, you have power. You do.
Yes.
And you have a lot more than you think. And I just want to urge this, and that is, I know a lot of times this always seems to happen to the next person. You know, you may not be Black, and the things that happened last week regarding, you know, all those elderly people being gunned down in Buffalo may not move you. You may not have any children. So the things that are happening to these children may not move you. You may not be a woman who's trying to fight for control over her body. So these things will not move you on the same level. But one thing I can promise, your issue will come. That I guarantee. I guarantee it. These might not be it, but you need to get into the habit of putting your vote in the right spot, so that if you're fortunate enough that your issue isn't being addressed or being threatened, get into the habit of issuing your power, because you don't want to wait until it's too late. You don't want to wait until it's too late. So just get into the habit of doing that now.
Yep. And I just want to say outright, stop supporting the party that claims to be conservative, but they're always having boat parties and parades and stuff, and have done nothing for us. Have not done the labor or the work to make this a really good society, to improve this society. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hide the fact
boat
that
parties and make money. I mean, what are they conserving? I don't understand it. I have no idea what they're conserving.
Yeah, I think people will come to realize that the people that they think are fighting for them aren't necessarily fighting for them.
They're not fighting for them.
Rather than they're fighting for their pocketbook.
Yes, they're not even fighting for that. They're fighting for corporate America's pocketbook to have free reign.
Yeah. Man, I really don't even have a whole lot more to add.
That's it
to the conversation. So I'm gonna try and change some gears.
Yeah.
You know, and let's bring some new energy into the room. Let's bring some new energy to the room, and let's start it off with, hello, nerds. Welcome to GeekBeast, part of the Geekish Network. This is your daily rundown of geek news from geeks that look like me, geeks that look like you, and geeks that look like my man Chuck. Yo, what's going on with you, baby?
No, man, chilling, man.
Yeah.
It's a Tuesday afternoon.
It's Tuesday. Yes, it is.
And we're here, and there's a lot going on, even in the whole entire world, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
I just want to get into it, really.
Yeah, let's. Well, we're about to jump into the things as a part of our geek culture that we love to either embrace or debate. And that's what we're going to get into.
The article at the top that Defunct put for us, I kind of quite fascinating, actually.
Oh, well, we'll go on and speak on it since you're already looking at it.
It's fascinating. So you all know that Chris Pratt is Garfield, which I found even interesting too, because Garfield has a very unique voice to me. And Garfield is one of my favorite cartoon characters. I used to read that strip. I used to read that comic strip. They decided, somebody did, to make Samuel L. Jackson Garfield's dad.
Okay, for a hot split second, I thought you were going to say they were going to make Samuel Jackson Garfield, because that would have been a joke in itself. But like, I hate these motherfucking Mondays.
Give me my motherfucking spaghetti, baby.
lasagna, bitch.
My lasagna, be my motherfucking lasagna.
Oh, but you know what? But you know what?
Oh,
All right,
man.
that would have been hilarious if it was Garfield. But for the simple fact that it's going to be Garfield's dad, right?
Yeah.
So that could be fascinating too as well, you know, because Garfield is known as a lazy cat, right? And who knows if his dad is like the complete, you know, opposite, right?
Get your ass up and do some goddamn work. Because I'm like, Garfield's dad. When did Garfield start having a dad? When did this happen?
have no idea.
It's always been John. It's always been Odie. And it's always been Garfield.
Yep.
And that was it. And the thing was, John's girlfriend would come by from time to time.
I do remember that, y'all. Yeah, John was a simp.
I was like, when did Garfield have a dad? Now, if they would have said, okay, we're going to have him as Heathcliff and Samuel Jackson and Heathcliff or Riff Raff, I'd have been like, I'm all in.
Dang, you took it back to Riff Raff? That was the cat with the hat, right?
I
remember him. Damn, you old, bro. Yo, you old.
But he's playing Vic. And Vic is the dad. I'm like, where did Vic come from? Who's Vic? I don't know who. So this to me, Samuel Jackson's defining a whole new character in the Garfield lore. Because I already have Garfield's voice in my head. It's a lazy voice. It's kind of syrupy. And so I think Chris Pratt can pull that off potentially. But I think he's gonna be goofy though.
I think this is gonna work because Garfield hasn't really had like a proper villain outside of like Mondays, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a real villain. So maybe not. Let me not say villain. Let me just say antagonist. Something that he has to overcome, right? His pops. You know what I'm saying? Like his pops, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. Boy, is one of the harder things to try to overcome that I can think of.
I'm quite excited for that. I'm quite excited for that because Samuel Jackson only knows one character. And that's Samuel L. Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. You know, it's like he is only Sam L. and everything he does.
So I'm really interested in this. Like Garfield has a dad, so that was kind of interesting to me. I don't know how you feel about it, but I loved Garfield cartoon that came out Saturday morning. I used to read the comic strips. That was one of my favorite comic strips. I used to giggle and snort all day long about it.
Well, casting Samuel L. Jackson is also very telling to the demographic as well, because I seriously doubt a lot of like young kids under the age of 10, and really like checking for like Samuel L. Jackson
not for Garfield. Them.
I think that's what I'm saying. Just like the Chippendale Rescue Ranger movie, which is good, by the way. It's not necessarily for specifically that demographic. It leans a little bit more towards, you know, the older side. You probably would have at least had to be very familiar with what Chippendale's Rescue Rangers are in order to like really get the movie. I feel like they might be going that path with this Garfield movie and selecting Samuel L. Jackson as the dad.
The whole Rescue Rangers was about being a rescue ranger. These kids have no idea what a rescue ranger is. None. Zero.
None.
They have never.
I had
talked about Rescue Ranger.
So I had a moment of what you talking about regarding Rescue Ranger. So I watched it this weekend, right? And I was watching it with the fam, and Grandma was in the room, and Grandma said, she was like, "What's up with the Rescue Rangers?" She was like, "The Chippendale I knew lived in trees and they didn't wear clothes." So it was like, oh, she went up to me, you know.
She went way back. She went back.
She went way back. She went back to like the original cartoon.
Before the Rescue Rangers. Before they were Rescue Rangers.
And I was like, Grandma, you slick like that. Okay, all right. I see you.
That makes sense. Yeah, because that's before the rest. They touch on that in the movie too. They touch on their history. They touch on their voices. And I'm like, man, and that movie had a smorgasbord of Easter eggs and
tons of
cameos.
Yeah.
It may be one of the best versions of any live action cartoon I've ever seen. I put it up there beyond Roger Rabbit. Hell, they had Roger Rabbit in it. And let's not get on the person that steals the show. Ugly Sonic steals the show.
Ugly Sonic. I didn't know I needed Ugly Sonic in my life. I didn't know that until I seen it. And he's a bit of an asshole that's kind of like in denial of himself. Yeah. I love how they got like that. Yeah, I love how they had like the aged out characters at the convention panels.
And Tigra.
Yeah, Tigra.
I saw Tigra. I was like, I'm not ready for all this love that I'm getting right now.
Yo, you know what got me and I didn't see coming? You remember the old Paula Abdul video? And they had the animated
cat. Yeah.
Animated cat.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, that threw me, dog. I was like, they brought him back.
They brought him back. These kids have no idea what they're looking at, Centel. They have no idea what they're looking at.
They had no idea.
No idea what they're looking at. It was gold to me. When they had Scrooge McDuck swimming in the gold in the sun, I was like, that's perfect. They understand what they're speaking to my heartstrings. And old Peter Pan.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the movie for you. If you have not seen Chip and Dale, take the time to go see Chip and Dale. It's fun. It is a fun movie. It's like, I was like, man, they should have never put this on streaming. They should put this straight into the theaters. It probably wouldn't have done well because it has no audience really. But it's like, you know, the kids like, we're gonna watch this Chip and Dale movie, and it's all for parents. It's a parent movie.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I don't know if it would have been like really successful in the theater. I don't know because some of those references are really deep. Some of them are really deep.
Just real deep scenes. Like, y'all gave me that scene. When they had Sound Blaster in the room. Oh man, I was like, oh my God, they make cameos. I think the Funk said it best. Somebody needs to actually put all the characters that were in that movie into one poster. So you can see Marvel in it.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, you know, one of the great things about our show is that you have access to us. Unlike some of the other podcasts you might be listening to, or some of the old drawn out YouTube videos, you can come chat with us right now. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Yo, what's going on in the chat? Defunk said, man, I was really surprised how directly targeted Rescue Rangers was at late Gen X millennials. Dragonborn said, OG Chip and Dale, they did cameos the smart way, and opposites attract MC Scat Cat. That was the name of the cat. That was Dancing with Paula Abdul. Defunct jumped in and said, I shared that pic of MC Scat Cat and Paula on my Facebook. I bet, like I said, unless you're like over the age of 30, you're probably not gonna know who MC Scat Cat is.
Almost 35.
Yeah,
35 and over there.
Because I was a teenage kid when that video came out, and so you probably had to be, you know, really up there in age. Defunk said, why wasn't it in theaters? Funk also said, my guess is maybe a box office based royalty thing they may be able to dodge by going straight to digital. And Smash Brothers style, everyone is here. Mega collector collage. I agree.
Yeah, they need that collage. We need that poster. We need that poster.
I'm actually kind of surprised the internets haven't already done that, especially Twitter. Twitter's normally like really, really hot on the case.
The only thing I wish was in it, they would have brought in some anime reference like Dragon Ball or Naruto. I'll probably have flipped the tape. I probably would have flipped the tape. But that's for the second movie, though. That's for the second movie because they gave us almost all the Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, they did. It was all of them.
It was almost all the characters, though. Almost all. There's a ton of characters they could bring in. Then they had Darkwing Duck. Then we had
Darkwing Duck was great, right? Yeah, that one was really good. Yeah.
Yo, man, I'm just so excited. Disney needs to do more movies like this.
Dragonborn said apparently there was a Naruto reference. But it was easy to miss. I definitely missed that. I didn't know that. And they had the freaking Arcrum character.
Yeah, they had a freaking Arcrum character. Yeah.
Oh man, I missed the Naruto.
Okay, man, I gotta go back to see it.
But
they made a lot of references. It was so good. I was not ready.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about projects like that, man, is that they have like really good replay value. And you can just go back and then do a bit of a deep dive. I might actually do that, have it playing on the back, and then just see if I can catch some other things. And the thing is, it was one of those projects that, focused on family, kind of like Dominic Toretto talks about family. And they just keep adding to Toretto's family, because now Toretto's grandma's being played by Rita Moreno. She was the EGOT winner in West Side Story, apparently. So she is going to be the grandmother of Vin Diesel's Dominic
EGOT
Toretto.
winner. You know why? Why they got her in this movie?
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Because only the greats come to Fast and Furious series.
Yeah.
When you come great, you join the Fast and the Furious lineup because that movie franchise is the greatest movie franchise of all time.
Don't leave it. Don't listen to that BS. Listen,
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
On some
10 movies in.
We're not about to do this.
It's harder than Marvel hits. It's harder than Marvel.
We're not doing it. Yo, listen. All right, so listen. There's a great comment that I got to address.
Helen Mirren should be back.
Looking forward to the clash of Rita Moreno versus Helen Mirren.
I'm all for that. They're both Fast and the Furious stars. Damn right. With the greats.
This isn't in the news feed, but I did hear that there is a bit of a green light regarding another one of Vin Diesel's projects, and there is going to be maybe some extended material regarding his Pitch Black series. You hear about that?
Oh man, I didn't hear about that. That sounds interesting too. But he don't need to do anything else but focus on this one franchise and continually make it great.
Listen, look, I'm as much as I have as many jokes for Vin Diesel as the next man, but one thing I will not doubt is his pocketbook. That dude is paid, bro. That dude, he got his fingers.
Matter of fact, he should do a Fast and the Furious and the Pitch Black crossover.
Don't do that. Stop.
He should. He should. We find out that the Dominic Toretto has a twin brother who wears sunglasses who can't see, and then he's a cold-blooded killer.
Listen, don't worry, fans in chat. I'm going to intervene because we're about to change the motherfucking subject. No, we're not talking about it anymore.
Fast X like Malcolm X. You saw Malcolm X. You're going to see Fast X.
I'm going to segue into the fact that we still have current relative actors.
6 billion cool worldwide, changes. Baby.
Still making current changes. Yo, I don't know if you saw, but The Gray dropped. Finally. We've only been hearing about this project for a minute. The Gray Man trailer, which is, I guess it's like an assassin story. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. It's not so much that it's an assassin story. It's the fact that it's done by the Russo brothers. That's the thing that's been getting like all of everybody's been losing their mind over. And the Russo brothers are definitely of Marvel fame. Yeah. I mean, and this is a Netflix project, but there's another interesting thing too. And from my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that the project is actually going to theaters first. This is a Netflix project, but it's going to theaters first, and then they're going to have a release on the platform. I don't think this is the first time Netflix has done that. I think they've released movies before.
They put stuff in the Egyptian because they had to get awards. I think all that's dead now.
Okay, well, this one is bringing it back.
You remember when Steven Spielberg made a stink like, you can't put streaming movies for an Academy Award because it's not in theaters. And so they bought the Egyptian. They bought a couple of theaters. So they'll probably put it in their theaters the first time. But I think this is Netflix toying with they're going to purchase like Pacific Theater line. There's a whole theater system out there that's just sitting empty right now. It's bankrupt.
Well, I'm sure there's probably more than just one. I mean, COVID came and just did its thing.
The Pacific's a really
systems.
big one. So I can imagine Netflix saying, you know what? We're worth about $100 billion. Let's put $20 billion into a theater. Set up a new subscription purchase, $25 a month, $20 a month. You can go to the theater and watch all our movies. Matter of fact, you vote on the phone into the theater you want to play in. Then when we get enough votes for that, we play it.
That's interesting. Now that I don't know, but what you brought up before that is kind of interesting. You know, they could do, theatrical releases of just their name products and also have additional movies as well. Your Netflix subscription grants you access to those theaters. That is very interesting, actually. I don't know if you just came off the cuff, but
yeah, man, I've been thinking about this. I thought about this when I worked there.
Yeah.
That'd be projects I was working on the side.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't want to dig too deep because I know you're nice and protected in the paperwork. Respect the paperwork. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it up a little bit. Oh, first let me say this. Did you see the trailer?
I saw the Gray Man trailer, and it looked good. It was like I hope they didn't show me all the action sequences in the trailer, but I was like, wow.
Yeah, the only thing I kept thinking of, because there's one scene in particular where there's a lot of destruction going down, and I'm like, golly, that looks expensive. I just kept thinking about that. I kept thinking about that
really
price
good visual
tag.
effects or really practical effects. Either way, it's very expensive.
That part, I was like, "Woo, Netflix! You already kind of like on the ropes with some changes."
They got a ton of money.
With
They're
some
sitting on a ton
changes.
of money. They're just making changes.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of changes,
they weren't ready for the pandemic.
That part.
Nobody was ready for the pandemic.
Speaking of changes, I thought this was a little bit interesting. And that is, people have been playing around with drone technology for a minute, right? Everything. Like I just got done watching, this is kind of related. I just got done watching Ambulance, right? It's the Bruckheimer film about these bank robbers. They get into an ambulance and it's like Speed, but in an ambulance. And this is probably one of the first cinematic films I've seen like them really go over the top using drone cinematography, right? Like it's really, they do a lot of it. And I was like, damn, like drones are just a part of the new norm now, right? Well, there's other companies that have been embracing it as well. One of them being Amazon, but they've kind of had a couple of stalls. But Walmart apparently has been, slow and steady wins the race. And not only have they already been using drones to deliver packages, they are estimating to expand their delivery services to reach 4 million households, right? So the idea and thoughts of, seeing drones flying around with little packages in it as you're, taking your like leisurely Sunday stroll is looking like it's going to become more and more of a reality.
I am not okay with that.
Why?
Because I don't want to take up the airspace. I don't want to be walking and there's hundreds of drones. Imagine if everybody decides to do drones, right?
Right.
Every fast food restaurant, every restaurant decides to do drones. There'll be so many drones in the air bumping at each other and knocking packages, right. Shooting packages down, and you won't be able to enjoy you won't be able to enjoy nature like you want to enjoy nature. Like
right.
The reason why that there's international laws that are like you can't have a billboard a mile long. It's against the law to have about, I think it's the kilometer version of a mile, whatever the distance is. And the reason is because they have figured out, scientists have figured out a mile-long billboard is what you can actually see with your eyes in space. Because they knew that companies would shoot up billboards into orbit to circle the planet, and we would have no sunlight.
Okay.
And I think drones are just another version of that.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Just because there could be an over abuse of it, right? Like there was
we always abuse it. It's gonna be like those little scooters that we used to see on the sidewalks. They were everywhere. Remember that they were everywhere.
No, they still are everywhere. At least here, they're still everywhere.
People just drop them and leave them everywhere they want. No, I don't want that. I don't want fallen packages. I don't want, if you pick up a package on the street and you take it home and you call the center, you can be liable for mail fraud. There's so many things I don't no. And I want people to pay people to deliver packages because delivery services is a way to keep people employed in America.
Well, that's an interesting thing that you brought up. And that is that one of the reasons why the two biggest names that are dealing with this they have two different approaches. That's Amazon and Walmart. Amazon is pretty much trying to go through an automated way of doing these drone deliveries. Whereas Walmart has already hired a company who is paying drone pilots to manually operate each and every drone. So there is a possibility for increasing a new workspace, for some of these deliverers. And just think about the difference between, working, sitting in a seat in front of a screen with a control stick in your hand, playing video games as compared to driving like an Amazon truck for 13, 14 hours a day.
I hear that. That makes sense.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here. I'm just trying to
I hear that.
Address the argument.
Airspace is very valuable to us in the world. And
there's another point.
And people and we need airspace for a number of reasons, right? First of all, we needed to send all these waves in the air so we can do internet and whatnot.
Right.
And so we should interfere with that. And there's buildings and obstructions. And what happens when drones start falling on people's heads? People start shooting them down.
I am sure all of that is a very real possibility, and not just
it's definitely going to happen.
But it's going to happen. There's going to be people.
And then what happens when? So are there going to be drone deserts like there are food deserts?
Well, that's just it. That was going to be my next point. According to the article, in order for Walmart to do these drones, you have to have like, I think it's like 1.5 miles of line of sight. So it's not like there's just one drone packaging service in the entire city, and there's just like thousands of drones flying out of this one facility. It's your neighborhood Walmart who has an additional setup that has the people that are the drone drivers, and they can only pilot those particular drones like 1.5 miles from where that particular Walmart is setting. So does that change how you feel about it anymore, or is it still like a hell no?
No, because I think of Harlan County, Kentucky, and the Appalachian Mountains, where people are poor. They're going to shoot those drones down and get to navigate around those mountains.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a very real thing. I think what the article I said earlier too as well is that they initially thought that the drone service would have been used for like emergency purposes, right? Like I need some insulin, and they live in, like you said, in a place that's really hard to reach. You know, the drone services ship out the insulin, and then you're good. But what they discovered is that because of the shipping fee or whatever is only like $4, right? So because I guess the fee is relatively low for this type of service, they realized that people were like, droning over like everyday products like cereal or like burger patties and stuff like that. So they are, I guess, going to have to like recorrect as to figure out.
We have inclement weather that they'll deal with too, right?
Right.
Half the country's in tornado country. High winds, and then if it's not tornadoes, blizzards and winters. Now they can make like strong military grade drones to reach people for packages that need packages for food supplies and whatnot in winter months. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. But we have National Guard to go out there and do that too.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of what you're saying that I do agree with. I also think that drone delivery is an inevitability. Yeah, I think it's coming. It's just a question of what that's going to look like. But I hope that some of the things that you're addressing are addressed regarding like cluttering the sky, misappropriating boxes, violence towards drones. I don't know how that really works, but yeah.
We watched 1 million scooter services, and the violence towards those scooters was crazy.
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody that was a ambulance driver or whatever it was, a paramedic. That's what I'm looking for. And they said that the amount of emergency room visits in Denver like went up like almost like 30%. It was like that high. It was like 30%
for the scooters
because of the scooters.
I can believe that. People drunk.
People were jacking themselves. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing, because people are like faded. You're using it instead of like risking getting into
scooters. Aren't that strong? You hit a curve, boom, you're done.
Yeah. I've seen people eat it. I've seen people eat it like, too. You be like, dang, oh, you all right? I be like, hey, you left some of your teeth over there on the curb.
It's always adults that think they're 16 or 15. No, this is not a razor, baby. This is a scooter that goes 20, 30 miles an hour.
Please do not put your elderly ass nana on one of them little scooters. Don't do that to her. Please don't do that to her. She's just trying to get the bingo. Hey, listen, that's going to
conclude out of here now.
Yeah. That's going to conclude the new segment of our show today. Yo, thank you so much for tuning in. A huge shout out to Digital Click. Yo, you see these beautiful borders around here, all this amazing graphic design. Digital Click, baby. They make us look good, so we give you a good show when you come back. Yo, we even trust them with their marketing. They handle it all. You got problems? Use Digital Click. GeekBeast salutes you. Also, GeekBeast is also in podcast form as well. We're on all the heavy hitters. You name it, we're on it. Make sure you give us those thumbs up and subscribe to it as well. / the Geekish Network. That's all you need to remember for Facebook, for Twitch, for YouTube. Put that in your browser and you set up and ready to go. Of course, give us those thumbs up, subscriptions, properly massage those algorithms. And speaking of Twitch, the platform is still gonna be dope. We got some cool future projects being planned out in the future. And of course, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link to it using Prime Gaming. Costs you nothing, helps us out tremendously. Big, huge shout outs to our producers. Rodney Chuck. Thank you so much for creating an incredible show. Huge shout out to the Funk as well for curating all this amazing content. You make our jobs tremendously easier. Yeah, man, I think that's about it that I got, man. Anything else you want to say to the happy people, my guy?
Nah, man, just tell everybody, thank you for dropping by. We know today's a tough day for a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're here all the time.
Yeah.
See us tomorrow. See us day after tomorrow.
No doubt.
We got some good stuff in the future. We're out.
Peace.